Okay, is it recording my voice now? Yes. Alright. Hello, YouTube. Let me just go ahead and minimize Bandicam. Today we'll be taking a look at the basics of Windows Virtual PC on my brand old laptop that just happens to be running Windows 7 Professional because I have a disk for it. Yeah, I reformatted it again, except I'm actually using its old hard drive now. Linux just didn't like its old hard drive, apparently. So this works fine. Now, one common misconception is that Windows Virtual PC, it started being referred to as Windows Virtual PC 7, because it only works on Windows 7. But a common misconception is that it is the only version of Virtual PC that will work on Windows 7. That is not true. Just, if you're not interested in Windows Virtual PC, then why are you watching this video anyway? But also, you can indeed use Microsoft Virtual PC 2007 on Windows 7, as long as you know what you're doing. If you've already tried to install Windows Virtual PC and it didn't work, just like happened to me downstairs, well, you can go into the Windows Update control panel and remove installed updates and just search for Windows Virtual PC and uninstall the update, and then run Microsoft Virtual PC 2007 setup again, and it should work great. Okay, so one thing that's weird about it is that the virtual machines are just stored in a folder. It has no graphical user interface. If you double click Windows Virtual PC on the desktop, then it just pulls up this folder here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and create a new virtual machine. I'm going to call it YouTube Video. Actually, YouTube Video 1. Because I'm going to be using a couple of them here. So first of all, as some of you may know, Windows 95 will not work if, also I need to show you how undo disks works in this version, so I'm going to go ahead and enable it. Some of you may know that Windows 95 will not, okay, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting myself over and over. I just need to say, if you just click this thing right here, then it uses the max number of hard drive space you can possibly make a VHD with, and I don't recommend that. Or you can choose an existing one, or you can click Create using advanced options, then hit Next, then hit Dynamically Expanding. Then it will ask you for the size, which in this case we want 2 gigabytes. Alright, so as some of you may know, Windows 95 will not run with hardware virtualization enabled in Microsoft Virtual PC 2007. Well, I've got news for you. Windows Virtual PC 7 requires you to have hardware virtualization available and turned on at all times. So, there is a fix for it though. The reason you always used to have to disable it was because Windows 95 does not have high-speed processor support. But I'm going to show you how you can fix that issue. First of all, there's one annoying thing I'll show you in the GUI in a minute. This is the only way to insert ISOs. It's kind of annoying. There is no CD menu at the top of the screen anymore. So, Windows 95C. Also, Windows 3.1 doesn't work, and Windows NT 4 doesn't work, and Windows 2000 doesn't work. Those are the only 3 operating systems that I know for a fact do not work. I haven't tried very many others, and it seems like most of the Windows betas don't work on this either. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that this wants genuine Windows or something, but this build of Whistler got farther than the others. I still can't get it to install on anything right now. But also, this Longhorn build works 100%. I don't know why, but it really does work 100%. Okay, so I'm getting sidetracked here. Just go ahead and double click the icon for it, and this window will open up, and the Windows 95 setup will start. Also, by the way, you have to have builds of Windows 95. Okay, I thought the PC completely crashed there. That was weird. Okay, of course you go through the normal setup. Push enter. Now, one thing you need to change right after it reboots here, you need to change the boot order. Oops. By pushing delete and going into the setup, you have to do it very quickly. But you want to change the hard drive to the floppy drive, and it'll automatically switcheroo that around. And then save changes and it'll reboot again. There is a weird slowdown after the post process in this version of Windows Virtual PC, but I don't know why. It's a weird issue. And it'll go ahead and format your hard drive. And I know I've already done a video of this, but this is just to show you how to get it to work. So you can just go ahead and go through the normal Windows 95 setup process. I don't know why it's speeding up suddenly. Which I will do that now. And I'll see you there. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you one thing. This isn't actually the version of Windows 95 that I used. And also, like it takes forever to change. On. Okay, 2 there. I'm gonna go ahead and split the recording here to make sure. Alright, I was having weird issues there. I don't even know what happened to the end of that video. That could be interesting to find out. I drastically changed the amount of RAM allocated to this virtual machine because it was way too much. I mean, Bandicam was using its fair share of it, and Windows 7 itself was also using its fair share of it, but this computer used to have Windows Vista on it, so I don't know what's up with that. Although I also have a bunch of other programs running, like ATI Catalyst Control Center that I really wish I didn't have to have installed for the graphical drivers to work right. I'll just go ahead and run this thing. And we can do take 2, right? Yeah. So, what I forgot to tell you was, there's a few weird complications that will happen during the setup with this version of Virtual PC. But I'm going to show you how to get around those. Real quick. So it'll look like it's working normal. Nice. There. What is happening? What is happening? Can you answer that for me? Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but I think it's gonna work okay now. Hopefully. Alright. There's just one thing I need to show you. So this will go through fine. This portion of the setup will complete successfully. And hang on. I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. I can't believe I have it memorized. Go ahead and say yes. And you can check both of these if you want. I don't know if the network adapter actually works, but I do know that the sound card will work. So, keep moving your mouse around until you can't move it anymore, because that's when the complication happens. But I can tell you how to fix it. So it'll actually even get past this part. I've never had this happen. This is weird. Okay, come on, what's happening? I think it's just not doing anything. Oh, never mind. Standard mode Stack Overflow. Sometimes it'll just freeze. I don't know why. Let's see, do not push Control Delete, it says. So turn it off, back on, and run safe recovery when prompted, and then it should work fine from there. Nice. Alright, sorry. I bet there were funny audio hiccups there. There were definitely some in the previous footage. Alright, so when you would restart your computer after finishing setup, you'd be greeted with this error message. So what you need to do is you need to search YouTube for Windows 95 high-speed processor support. Then you need to put the ISO in there, in the drive. And hit the Control-Alt-Delete button at the top of the screen, or push Control-Alt-End. the CD will boot, and it'll say starting Windows 95. Don't be fooled, it's actually showing this screen now. Hit no, because I'm showing you how to do it. Then just press any key to continue thingy, whatever. And so then this will show up, and it'll say long live Windows 95, good luck. So push the key, then you'll need to very quickly unmount this ISO. And then it will boot from the hard drive. And then this screen will show up, of course. Hit normal. And it'll show the normal Windows 95 boot screen, instead of the getting ready to run Windows for the first time one for some reason. I don't know why it does that after installing the patch. But then, Windows 95 will successfully boot, and you can complete the setup. Except there's a few other complications that'll happen after this. Like, it won't be able to read the CD, except in this case I just actually don't have the CD, and I'll go ahead and remount it. But other times, like, you'll have to restart. Oh my gosh. As I was saying, you'll have to restart your computer after canceling all the driver installations. And then it'll ask you to install those drivers again. But I'm just going to kill it, because we're not even going to be using this anymore. So when you X out, you'll see turn off and discard changes. This is part of undo disks. Go ahead and hit turn off. Still in the Bandicam folder. Now click settings. After selecting the virtual machine, go down to the undo disks thing. You can choose to discard or apply changes. You can't do it from closing the virtual machine in this version. So go ahead and click apply changes if you want to, or discard changes, whichever. Applying changes will show committing changes on the screen with a progress bar. I think that progress bar is just for looks, because as you saw, it wasn't close to finishing when it did that. Okay. So now, we're going to get into floppy disk support. I need to hurry because my mom will be home in a minute. And with floppy disk support, I'm going to show you how to install MS-DOS 6. I'm not going to enable undo disks. This is pointless now. Pixel, what are you doing? Okay. So go ahead and finish creating. I recommend when you're using floppy disks in a virtual machine, use simple virtual machine names and simple floppy disk image names. You'll see why in a minute. It's all command line based is the reason. So go ahead and download the file. Links in the description. I'll actually also put a link, now that I think about it, in the description for the Fix95 CPU thingy. And this actually is copying.txt from VFD, the program, to show that I did not infringe any copyright programs. Go ahead and hit accept. And this is actually README from it. Then, I don't want to install it in here because I already have stuff in there. I recommend just doing floppies because all you have to do then is edit the batch files to change your username. And I'm just going to rename this to, actually I'm going to do floppies 2. Then I'll actually, hello Pixel. I'll actually just walk you through the process of that. And this is readme.txt. That was actually already in the window, but it doesn't quite show correctly. So there you go on that. And yeah, so there's C script versions of them. And oh, by the way, you have to have the disk images in there, in the same folder as that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my DOS disk images. Into there. And also I'm actually going to copy the 4th DOS disk as well. Just paste them in there. And now, so it depends on which ones you're going to use, which ones you want to change. Like if you have PowerShell installed, you can change those. But here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change both attach and C attach. Pixel? I'm sorry, that was pretty funny what he just did. That way I can just show you the difference between the two. And then I'm just going to change the PowerShell ones from there. Actually, that one doesn't need to be changed. The only ones you actually need to change, now that I think about it, are the attach and see attach ones, actually. So, as far as I can remember. But anyway, enough chit-chat. We need to create another virtual machine. Actually, no, we don't, because we already have one. Alright, so go ahead and, when it pops up, push delete. No, I do not want to... Wow, that was an epic fail. That's not going to do anything. I need to push Control Delete. So enter the setup. Change the boot device priority, because we're going to need to change that. Well, duh. Alright, so then when you boot up, you're going to have nothing there. So actually what you want to do is you want to turn it off. Now go over to your folder with the scripts in them. There's a thing that says Start Command Prompt. Just launch that and this will pop up. So then type attach or see attach for the PowerShell version and see attach for the and see attach for the, what am I trying to say here? For the Windows script host version, whatever. So the syntax is the virtual machine name, and then the name of the image. And they need to be in VFD format. And IMG files, I know if you just change a file extension they'll work, but I don't know about IMA files or any other formats. So then just hit enter. And we have an error. What is our error here? Well. Hang on. I think I know what I did. Sorry, I was reading that. That's why it took me so long. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes it depends on what's going on. Just experiment with it. Try to get it to work. Now go over and we can launch our virtual machine here. And then starting MS-DOS. Well, we can go ahead and install MS-DOS here. Just install it there. Loud sound. Okay, so now I'm going to show you see attach. Now it's actually the same syntax, just add C to the beginning. And you'll see it works exactly the same, except it has the Windows script host banner at the top. And that's you should only use that if you don't have Windows PowerShell on your computer, which Windows PowerShell is really powerful. It's probably why it's called PowerShell. And if you're a scripter like me, I highly recommend it. I didn't actually change the virtual machine name, or the disk image name there, did I? I highly recommend getting it if you are a scripter, because it's very, very powerful. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure I could learn very easily. It's pretty powerful, and it's pretty simple as far as I know. Okay. So, attach. Actually, I'm just gonna... Yeah, okay. DOS 3. There we go. PowerShell is slower parsing the commands than Windows Script. That was weird. I don't know why it was so long. Alright, hang on. Oop. That was interesting. Alright, so now you want to type in release. There's also a C release, as you would expect. Now, YouTube video 2. It'll say disconnecting the floppy disk. Then it'll pop up the floppy disk information. Then if we do C release, YouTube video 2, it'll do the same thing except it'll use Windows script host. So I'm just demonstrating that there. Now, we'll go ahead and hit enter and it'll restart the computer. And it will boot into MS-DOS. Oh, and another tip is that the actual virtual machine icons are stored in a separate place from the virtual machines themselves. So I recommend making a library that includes all the virtual machines, and then making one that includes the app data / local / Microsoft / Windows virtual PC / virtual machines folder. And then that has all your VHDs and stuff. And then I also would recommend, if you have VirtualBox, stick its VirtualBox VMs folder in there. And then your floppies folder, if you'd like. Stick that in there too. So, yeah. It's a good idea. And now, go over here. You can see that we've got that. Having issues hitting the button. Now type in attach. Actually, well, we have it in our command history. So, dos4.vfd. Let's attach it. So they didn't take away floppy support. They just took it away from the GUI. So this is the DOS supplemental utilities. Got so used to installing that now. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and switch back to C colon and then go over to command prompt here. It's funny how I'm using a real-time command prompt and a DOS and a DOS virtual machine at the same time. It's kind of funny. Okay. Release YouTube video 2. Okay. So then just hit exit in the command prompt there. Then we'll restart the virtual machine. And then I'll start the DOS shell just to show you that it worked. And there you go. MS-DOS shell. And there you go. Okay. So now I'm just going to walk you through the process of deleting a virtual machine, because it's kind of complex. First, you could delete their icons. And by the way, if you have integration components installed, which is basically just VM additions, if you have them installed, then it won't actually show the OS boot screen. It's kind of interesting. It'll just show a window that says starting virtual machine. You can see that if you use Windows XP mode. Okay, so you delete their icons. Then you have to go to the temporary folder, whatever you want to call it. Then you have to find their VHDs and their .vmc file, not their .vmcx file, and their .vpc backup file. That's really what you want to do. So then just delete all those as well, and you're done. For the most part, anyway. Then just empty your trash box. Alright, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.